Turn down. This is the L2C Media Network, and this is after the first half. A look at all the action, the scores from the 1 o'clock games, previews of 425 games, and also the Sunday and Monday night games. And here's your host, Steve the Maxman Baxley. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to week one. And for your favorite teams, week one is spelled W-E-A-K. We got a lot for you. We will try an attempt to preview the 425 games, but right now, let's do what we do somewhat good. And that is to bring you an update on all the 1 o'clock games that are either continuing or have concluded. Let's start with the games that are around the conclusion. Tennessee Titans, Arizona Cardinals, and what a shocker. Arizona taking the Titans to the woodshed. They lead with 8:17 remaining in the game, 38-13. Murray has had a great time at QB, 280 yards, 4 touchdowns for the Cards. For the Titans, Tannenhill, 211 yards and 1 touchdown. Let's go to the next one. 10:37 remaining. The Jacksonville Jaguars, Houston Texans, and the Texans are riding off to the sunset unless the Jaguars can stop them. Texans lead the Jags 37-14. The Jaguars' newest acquisition, first-round pick, quarterback Lawrence, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, for the Texans, Taylor, 277 and 2 yards. Here's some final scores. In fact, most of these 1 o'clockers are indeed final. Let's go for it. Los Angeles Chargers just beat the Washington will fill in the blank sometime this year by a score of 2016. Hey, Bear, 337 yards and a touchdown for the Chargers. Heineke, 122 yards and a touchdown. We'll give you more of their stats tonight on the Midnight Show. Oh, we have one more 4 o'clock game. Not 4 o'clock, 1 o'clock game to give you an update, or 2 more, excuse me. Minute 55 left to play. The Bengals lead the Vikings in a close one, 24-21. Kirk Cousins for the Vikings. 264 yards and 2 touchdowns. While Burrow for the Bengals, 218 and 2 touchdowns. 343 left to play. New York Jets, well, in their typical mode. This time their opponents are the Carolina Panthers, and they lead in a relatively close and interesting game, 19-8. Wilson for the Jets, 171 yards and a touchdown. Meanwhile, former Jet, now Carolina Panther, Sam Darnold, 279 yards and a touchdown. But he also has slipped, dropped a few, boom. More fourth quarter games. 413 remaining. Eagles ahead of the Falcons, 29-6. Hurts isn't hurting so bad for the Eagles, 263 yards and 3 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Ryan for the Falcons, 159 yards and no touchdowns. 2:19 left to play in relative silence, as it were. The Pittsburgh Steelers lead the Buffalo Bills 23-13. Big Ben, 180. Let me clear my eyeballs here. 185 yards and touchdown, while Allen for Bills, 238 yards and a TD. Minute 48 seconds left to play in the fourth. Indianapolis Colts in a close clinch are down by 12. Seahawks lead 28-16. Russell Wilson for the Seahawks, 254 yards, 4 touchdowns. While for the Colts, Wentz 216 yards, and 2 touchdowns. 216 and 2. Thank you very much. And just hitting the final score buzzer. Might as well just say it's the final score. Well, actually, it's 2-minute warning. The San Francisco 49ers have just laid the Detroit Lions to rest, 41-17. I don't get it. You don't get it. Different coach, different staff, different people behind the scenes. Same result. Going to be fun year with the Lions, isn't it? But again, we're still early. So as things go wackadoo here in the first week of the National Football League season, when the fans return, everything is sort of making you a little bum-fuzzled. Yep, that's right. And we are trying to get you more information while we do that. Let's tell you that coming up here are the 425 games that should be underway shortly. Cleveland Browns taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. That'll be on CBS. Broncos taking on the Giants. That'll also be on the Fox Net. Packers and Saints on Fox. Dolphins and Patriots on CBS. Of course, the big old Sunday night little tilt-a-roo on NBC will be the Bears and the LA Rams with a spunky new quarterback by the name of Matthew Stafford for the Rams, playing in SoFi Field. So we'll give you that. And, of course, the Monday night game on ESPN and ABC and the ESPN family. That's right. It's one of the many multicasts with the Manning brothers. Baltimore Ravens, Las Vegas Raiders from Vegas, baby. It's all coming up shortly. Have we been spinning our wheels here? Yes, we have. Are we ever going to get a scoreboard? Are we even going to have a scoreboard? Or are we just going to let the wheels just spin? Okay, hang on, folk. That's why they don't pay me the big bucks. Let's go to it and get you updated. As long as we's here, you will be updated. Let's update, people. Let's update. Thank you. It's a one-man band. Okay, here we go. Minute 55 remaining. Okay, let's try it again. Minute 55 remaining. Arizona Cardinals lead the Tennessee Titans by a score of 38-13. 3:56 remaining. Texans over the Jags, 37-14. They're in overtime in Cincinnati. Bengals and Vikings tied at 24. 8 minutes and 30 seconds left to play. Panthers over the Jets, 19-14 with a minute 51 left. Panthers with the ball. 1 minute and change left, and well, Niners 41, Lions 33. Woo. Some finals. Yes, we do got some finals. Let's give them to you quickly. Eagles over the Falcons, 32-6. Hurts, 263 yards, 3 touchdowns. Ryan, 164 yards. No touchdowns, no tostada. No tostadas. No balls either. Chargers over the Washington will soon have a name before the season is over, 20-16. Herbert, 337 yards and a touchdown for the Chargers. For Washington, Heineke, 120 yards and a touchdown. Steelers over the Bills, 23-16. Roethlisberger wrapped it up, 188 yards and touchdown. Allen, 270 and a touchdown. Seahawks over the Colts, 28-16. Wilson, 254 yards, 4 touchdowns. Wentz, 251 and 2. Okay, let's give you a short preview of the Broncos and Giants and the rest of the gloriness that is the NFL's 425. It's a double header, Fox and CBS. So let's do it. Coming off bad seasons, the Denver Broncos and the New York Giants used free agency in the draft to put themselves in a position to end playoff droughts. Well, despite a 5-11 record last year, expectations were high for the Broncos, tend to run to four straight losing seasons and get back to playoffs for the first time since winning the Super Bowl in 2015. The enthusiasm in Denver isn't tempered this year either. Giants fans are excited after a 6-10 record in Joe Judge's first season as coach. The free agent additions of receiver Kenny Golladay from Detroit and cornerback Adoree Jackson, the drafting of speedy wideout Kadarius Toney, and the expected return of star running back Saquon Barkley from knee surgery seems to have had New York ready for its first postseason since 2016. Headed into today's opener at MetLife Stadium, the Broncos are still riding high after a perfect preseason. For the Giants, not so bright. New York played poorly and not winning in the preseason. Golladay, Jackson, Toney, and Barkley, because they all got injured. The aftermath is those high hopes have all of a sudden faded a bit. Of course, it could change today in a game which Denver is a 1-point road favorite. The Giants veterans are ignoring the preseason. The starters played roughly 2 quarters out of 12. So let's watch out for that game. Next game we got for is the Broncos and, we already did the Broncos and the Giants. How about the Browns and the Chiefs? That's a little preview. Kansas City Chiefs have ruled the AFC for better part of 3 seasons, making back-to-back trips to the Super Bowl. And beating the 49ers about 19 months ago for their first championship in 50 years. Cleveland Browns could offer the stiffest test to their perch at the top. 2 teams met in the divisional round of the playoffs last season when Kansas City beat the Browns 22-17, in part by converting an audacious 4th down pass near midfield with just over a minute to go, and perhaps fittingly, they'll start this season back at the old Arrowhead, where a full house is expected for the Sunday afternoon kickoff. The Chiefs have certainly mastered the art of winning in September. They've won 14 consecutive games in the first month of the regular season. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes is 10-0 with 32 touchdowns. 32 touchdown passes, no interceptions. The Browns, they've gone a record 16 seasons without winning their opener, and they're 1-20-1 in Week 1. Cleveland for the 99 season. Last year was particularly gruesome, 38-6 loss in Baltimore. The personnel alone makes Sunday's game one of the marquee matchups of the first week. Mahomes and Mayfield, 2 of the best quarterbacks in the league. The Chiefs have one of the best wide receivers in Tyreek Hill. The Browns counter with a healthy, at least we hope, in both mind and body, Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry. Both teams have the tight ends and running backs, to say nothing of playmakers, on the opposite side of the ball. So we'll look into that coming up. We got 2 more, then we'll preview the Monday Nighter and the Sunday Nighter. Let's go now to the Packers and the Saints from the Ville of Jacksonville. That's right. Maybe Tony Khan can see some action. I don't know. Before Jameis Winston answered the first question of his first regular season interview as the New Orleans Saints starting QB, he took a moment to speak about what he said was foremost in his mind. It wasn't football, but it did have something to do with why New Orleans' Week 1 home game against the Packers will be played in Jacksonville instead of the Superdome. As because of the hurricane that struck the Louisiana coast. Leading off with his comments supporting disaster-stricken fans rather than highlighting his own football aspirations was reminiscent of the tack the recently retired for NBC Drew Brees took when he joined the Saints in 2006, while New Orleans was still reeling from Hurricane Katrina. Winston has indicated his approach to leading coach Sean Payton similar to that of the record-setting Brees, at least in terms of opting for the play that should be made instead of higher risk reward plays he might like to attempt. Now, if he follows through on that pledge, perhaps he'll realize more of the potential his career held when Tampa Bay made him the 2013 Heisman Trophy winner, the NFL's top draft choice in 2015. Now, going up against the reigning MVP, Aaron Rodgers, and a Packers team that captured the NFC's top playoff seed a season ago before falling in the conference title game to Tom Brady and the Super Bowl champ Buccaneers. Rodgers, in his 17th season, excludes confidence in both while talking about his own experience and his receiving targets, led by Davante Adams, whose 18 touchdown receiving last season ranked first in the NFL. A favorite target of his past 11-year veteran Randall Cobb is also back with the Pack after 2 years with other clubs. There's also young deep threat Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Now, when the Packers visited New Orleans last September, pandemic restrictions on crowds provided Rodgers the luxury of communicating clearly with teammates at the line of scrimmage in a largely empty Superdome. Game is going to be in Jacksonville, and there will be fans. This will be different, says Rodgers. Obviously not playing in New Orleans with some of the changes on their roster, most notably the quarterback. Right now, New Orleans signed veteran cornerback Desmond Trufant this week as it tries to settle on a second starting cornerback to join top pass defender Marshawn Lattimore. Ken Crowley and rookie Paulson Adebo are also competing for the spot that opened when the Saints allowed Janoris Jenkins to leave in a cost-cutting move. New Orleans also traded for Houston cornerback Bradley Roby, but a suspension going back to last season will prevent him from suiting up until week 12. Green Bay at New Orleans. That's a 405. That's a 425er. You'll see that on Fox. Well, most of you will. And finally, I don't think we'll need to see the preview for the Dolphins and Patriots. Let's just say this. In the words of Jim Ross, this could be a slobber knocker. The Patriots come in with a huge chip on their shoulder after being embarrassed last season, not even making it to the Super Bowl. Not even making it past one of the second round of the playoffs. Now, you got two good quarterbacks. Well, one. Mac Jones spent most of his college career at Alabama watching from the sideline, first behind Jalen Hurts and then backing up Tua Tagovailoa. Hurts was first joined the Tide in 2016, followed by Jones and Tags in 2017. By the time they finished their respective runs in big old Tuscaloosa, each had been the starter on a national championship team. For Hurts and Tagovailoa, it was the expected out of high school. For Jones, had to beat out freshman Bryce Young for the starting job last season, on his way to becoming the school's all-time single-season passing leader and leading to an undefeated record. It was another example of him exceeding outsider expectations. Now, as Jones and Tagovailoa prepared to match up for the first time as NFL starters on Sunday, it's cast a new spotlight on the former teammates in their new roles as key pieces of franchises hoping to dethrone the Bills in the AFC East. In Jones's case, he wants to beat 2015 MVP Cam Newton. He did it. As you know, Cam Newton got cut from the Patriots. Bill Belichick's decision to cut him at the end of training camp came as a shock to many around the league. Jones' teammates said he enters his first start having won the respect of New England's locker room with poise and confidence rarely displayed by a rookie. Tagovailoa said Jones' fast ascension lines up with the potential he saw him display in college. Now, both will lead revamped rosters, and can't wait for that game. Speaking of big games, nothing bigger than Sunday night. NBC Sunday Night Football coming to you from the land of La. It'll be the Bears against a whole new LA Rams. Two accomplished 33-year-old veteran QBs make their debuts with new teams Sunday night. And that's about where the similarities end. Matthew Stafford is the new starter for the Los Angeles Rams. And they in turn have pinned the hopes of playing in a home Super Bowl on his shoulders. Good luck. Andy Dalton might not even be the Chicago Bears present for a whole lot longer. 6 months after the Rams acquired Stafford from the Lions, he finally gets to work on realizing his career-long ambitions. After a dozen NFL seasons without a playoff victory, Stafford candidly admits he has never been in charge of a team as talented as these Rams, let alone backed by a defense as good as Los Angeles' top-ranked unit. After one postseason appearance in the past 6 years, Stafford chose to leave the Lions rather than sticking around for another rebuilding phase. He's done waiting. He wants results. And I don't blame him. Stafford to the Bears, a team he has beaten more times than any other. Opponents know all about his strong arm poised in the pocket and while leading 31 fourth-quarter comebacks, more than any quarterback except Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger during Stafford's first 12 NFL seasons. Chicago, meanwhile, has a rookie coordinator, Sean Desai, in charge of its defense, which means Stafford's experience against the Bears might not be quite as valuable. The Rams are still confident they'll see why they made the bold move to trade Jared Goff to Detroit for Stafford and Stafford's potential to be one of the greats. Now, while Stafford gets most of the attention, all eyes on Chicago will be back on Dalton. The Bears declared the 3-time Pro Bowl quarterback their starter when they signed him to a 1-year deal and stuck with him, even after they traded up to draft Justin Fields with the number 11 quarterback. Dalton gets his first chance to quiet the call for the prize rookie against the defense that led the NFL last season. Then again, those calls figure to get even louder if the Bears struggle. Dalton insisted during the week that he wasn't looking over his shoulder, and the Bears continue to praise him. We'll make sure to bring you that in a moment. Right now, we got the Monday night preview. Let's preview Monday night. Ravens-Raiders. A game so important, it's multicasted on ESPN's family of networks with the Manning brothers. And for the first time in over 20 years, Monday Night Football will be back on ABC with the ESPN folks. The preview, here we go. It's very simple. The opening season for the Raiders in Vegas proved to be a bit of a dud. With no fans allowed the games last year, the Raiders stumbled to a 2-6 record at home in their first season since moving from Oakland, and they missed the playoffs for the 17th time in 18 seasons. Now they get a second chance at an opening when they welcome in fans for the first time in the regular season, when they get to show off their fancy new digs on Monday night against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. The Raiders opened Stadium just off that famed Las Vegas Strip last season, but never allowed fans in to see the game because of the pandemic. Davis opted against having small crowds, saying he will only let fans in when every season ticket holder could come. Even Davis stayed home last season, watching home games off-site. The 65,000-seat stadium that resembles the Death Star from Star Wars from the outside features a translucent roof that allows in natural light, sliding Lanzai doors that look out at the Strip, and a field-level club in one end zone that features 2 DJ booths, premium bottle service, and a 45,000-watt sound system. All that's missing is home field advantage, as the Raiders matched the franchise worst mark with 6 home losses last season. The Raiders hope their passionate fans help change that pattern this year. Meanwhile, Baltimore lost running back J.K. Dobbins in the preseason to a season-ending knee surgery. Of course, quarterback Lamar Jackson ran for 1,005 yards last year. Big reason the Ravens topped the league in rushing. Gus Edwards injured his knee as well. Tyson Williams, a practice squad player for the Ravens last season, made this year's team and is expected to contribute at running back. Baltimore also signed Le'Veon Bell to the practice squad, and agent Drew Rosenhaus said Thursday that Devontae Freeman was joining the Ravens practice squad as well. Now, the Raiders focus heavy on improving a defense that allowed the most points in the NFL in Gruden's first 3 seasons. Gus Bradley was hired to replace the fired Paul Guenther as coordinator and has a few new pieces that should help in edge rusher Yannick Ngakoue, veteran quarterback Casey Haywood, and rookie safety Trayvon Mooring. Now, foot injury placed linebacker Nicholas Morrow on injured reserve, left the Raiders seeking reinforcements. While they traded for Denzel Perryman for depth, Then last week signed KJ Wright, who is still seeking a job despite being one of the most dependable linebackers in the league the past decade. Now, Baltimore won a playoff game last season for the first time with Jackson, but the Ravens had room for improvement, namely in their passing game, as they acquired Sammy Watkins to boost the receiving group. They also drafted receiver Rashad Bateman in the first round, although he's been out with groin issues. For the second straight season, the Raiders are projected to start the inexperienced Henry Ruggs III and Brian Edwards at receiver. The duo struggled as rookies, with Ruggs catching 26 passes and Edwards only 11, with Nelson Aguilar having left in free agency and John Brown getting released. The Raiders will need much better protection from those two to help quarterback Derek Carr in the passing game. With that said, boys and girls, cats and kittens, let's recap the 1 o'clock games and then get out of here so you folks can enjoy the 4 o'clockers. And here we go. Final scores except for one. Arizona Cardinals beat the Tennessee Titans 38-13. Houston Texans outlasted the Jacksonville Jaguars 37-21. 2 minutes left in overtime. Vikings-Bengals still tied at 24. Vikings have the ball, 1st and 10 on Cincinnati's 38. Try a field goal, Vikings, please. Panthers over the Jets, 19-14. Eagles over the Falcons, 32-6. 49ers in what was a rout, but the Lions, well, made it interesting, 41-33. Chargers a name that we'll choose sometime before the season is over, 20-16. Steelers over the Bills, 16. Seahawks over the Colts, 28-16. 9 minutes, 3 seconds left in the first. Browns Chiefs scoreless. Early in the first, Broncos Giants scoreless. And early in the first, New Orleans Saints have just put a field goal up on the Packers and lead 3-0. And the Dolphins Patriots, still early in the first, no score. And folks, believe it or not, that is all we got for that. And trust me, it is big. Okay, folks, that was just a little schnoople, a little show right there. We got more show coming to you tonight at midnight Eastern time, right after the Sunday Night Football Madness is over. We'll catch you at midnight, get all the action, all the scores, and all the stats for you coming up tonight at midnight right here on Sports Final. But until then, enjoy the rest of your ball games. Enjoy the rest of the first week of NFL football action. I am the Baxman, and I will see you all later tonight, midnight Eastern, right here for Sports Final. Thanks, everybody. This has been, after the first half, a review of the 1 o'clock games, preview of the 4:25 or 4:05 games, and a preview of Sunday and Monday night's games. We'll see you at midnight tonight. Love y'all. Have a good one. Football's back, and our sporty balls are getting filled to the gills.